Hello. Hey, pretty one. So it is day 22 on the 30-day journey to 30. And today we're going to dive into the sixth of the seven C's. So we are so close through this entire process of discovering who you are, discovering what you're meant to do with this world, uncovering what's been blocking you, and uncovering ways to overcome those blocks so that you really genuinely can live your most authentic, most brilliant life with the most clarity. So, today we are diving into consciousness, and consciousness to me is kind of the process of all of the C's that we've talked about so far. Consciousness is the awareness, intention, and commitment to the process of the seven C's. And a little foreshadowing, those are the three words that we're going to dive into for the next few days: awareness, intention, and commitment. So, opening up this aspect, this concept of consciousness, the dictionary defines it as a state of being awake and aware. And I kind of agree with that slightly. I think it is the process of being aware, but I don't necessarily believe that you have to be awake for it. I think part of consciousness is being aware of your dreams and how they affect you. Like, I think you can be awake to your dreams. Or another way I read about this is, that phenomenon of like driving to and from work every day, and you know that you're doing it, like you're aware of the road and you're aware of the cars, but then by the time you get home, you're like, whoa, that did I drive home? Like, did that happen? Or if you're driving and you're thinking about something, like you're daydreaming, or you're just running your grocery list through your head or something, like you would say that your awareness is on your grocery list, but at the same time, it's also part of it is on the road. And so consciousness is being awake and aware to as many of the processes going on as possible. Like, what's ultimately going on for you as you experience life? Like, what are you actively putting your attention on? What are you not realizing that you're putting your attention on? What are some things that are playing out in your subconscious that you have no clue are there? And so consciousness, like I said, is the awareness, intention, and commitment to really understand all of these processes. And it is specifically the processes of character, curiosity, connection, courage, creativity, consciousness, and clarity, because I believe I've mentioned this before, these go in a cycle. And by the time you reach consciousness, you should have a good understanding of character. Like, who am I really? What are the stories that I'm telling about myself? Curiosity. How have you started being, like, how have you opened up your eyes to start noticing your worldview, to start kind of maybe even scrutinizing your worldview so far? What has curiosity opened up for you? What has curiosity opened up to the state of being awake and aware? Connection. What connections are you making that really matter? Not just person to person connections, but also connections that you're starting to put together between your subconscious and what you're doing. I'm doing this because my subconscious from my childhood is creating this connection. So consciousness is being able to make those connections. Again, not just person to person, not just calling your family. And although those connections are important, it's also connecting your past to your present. And consciousness helps you stay awake and aware to that process. Courage. Because if we don't have, so character, curiosity, connection, and courage, if we don't have consciousness, if we're not actually aware of why we're shying away from something, then how can we practice courage and actually step up to the plate? And then specifically creativity, if we're not practicing creativity, or if we're not practicing consciousness when it comes to creativity, how do we know when we're holding ourselves back? How do we know when we're being vulnerable voice versus that foreboding sense of joy? Like, if we're not conscious of it, we're continuing to live our life on autopilot. I don't know about you, but that's no thank you. I don't want to live life on autopilot. I do want to be awake and aware. I want to commit and I want to have an intention of living my life to the fullest. And so that is consciousness in a nutshell. That's going back and kind of exploring what we've covered so far. As we move forward for the next few days, we're going to look at awareness, intention, and commitment. And then we'll be at the last C. Can you believe that? Like, I can't believe that. So let's get through consciousness. We'll make it to clarity, and then we will wrap this up on my 30th birthday. So I will see you tomorrow as we talk about awareness.